Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank everyone involved in these negotiations to see where we are today. It is, and I'm going to be honest and frank about it, it is disappointing where what came out of the Public Health Committee was that the medical assistants for age 18 and above were able, we would have given them the ability to administer the vaccines. Obviously, what we are seeing here is now it is going to be a conversation between Department of Public Health, and then they will come back to us and say with the regular, whether they will be allowed to prepare vaccines and administer. So it's quite different in the bill that came out of the committee. So through you, Mr. Speaker, just a few questions to the proponent of the bill as amended.
Please proceed, sir.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, is the good chairman aware if this study regarding the scope of medical assistance administering vaccine, has DPH already conducted that in the past? Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Steinberg.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, I don't know. Through you.
Representative Srinivasan.
So through you, Mr. Speaker, in this part of the bill in lines 3 to 11, what we are trying to do here is give DPH the authority to conduct such a study and then come back to us and tell us with their recommendations. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Steinberg.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, that is correct. Through you.
Representative Srinivasan.
And through you, Mr. Speaker, lines 12 to 26, address the issue of naturopaths. And we heard the good representative from Bridgeport talk about the need, and our state being the only state where this prescriptive authority is not available for our naturopaths. We get that, we have heard that, and I've heard, as a good representative has said, that in other states where the prescriptive authority was given to the naturopaths, they have not been taken away, and in fact, their formulary has been increasing. This is what we have been told. So through you, Mr. Speaker, just a question to the proponent of the bill as amended.
Please proceed.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, what we are trying to do here is have a conversation between DPH and the various parties that are involved, the medical societies, the naturopaths, and others involved in coming up with guidelines, in coming up with recommendations, which they in turn, the DPH will then give it to the committees of cognizance for them to move forward, maybe in the next session or in the sessions to come. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Steinberg.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Through you. Yes, the bill calls for a report to come back to the Public Health Committee in time for the next session. So it will certainly be a subject for conversation when we come back next year. Through you.
Representative Srinivasan.
And through you, Mr. Speaker, my final question. This is a recommendation to the committees of cognizance, the public health. It's not a requirement or a mandate that we have to follow whatever recommendations we are handed down through DPH. Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Steinberg.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Through you. Yes, that is correct. Through you.
Representative Srinivasan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the good chair for answering some of these concerns that we had with this bill as amended. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.